Okay, a worrying incident took place today in the Aston Villa Birmingham City match. Jack Grealish was assaulted by a pitch invader after 10 minutes. The pitch invader came from a section of Birmingham City supporters at St Andrews. Runs on the field, gets a good 15, 20 metres on the field. Sucker punches Jack Grealish from behind with a right hook. Fair whack. Jack Grealish is lucky he wasn't seriously injured, and he's also lucky that his assailant did not have a knife or a bottle on him, because that could have been possibly fatal. I'm not hiding that fact. That is a very obvious fact. This raises a lot of concerns about the security at St Andrews, but security at football in general, from stewarding, and also raises concerns about policing and who should pay for it at football matches. Is it the club's responsibility, or is it the local authorities' responsibility, or is it the police force with the public event? Whose responsibility? Who foots the bill? Because there's been lots of question marks about policing at football and who should pay for it. We've seen a spate of incidents. The disorder at football is on the rise. 2016 highlighted there is still a long way to go to stamp out violence at football from the game. Not just from English fans or Scottish fans, but from fans across Europe. There was some worrying scenes in France in 2016 from a variety of nations. It's not just an English disease. Let's not go with that, European thought line that it's the English problem. It's a European problem and has been for 40 years. This instance in Scotland obviously have some sectarian elements to them as well. There's some racist and homophobic elements to some of the incidents. Players, referees and officials and coaches have all been the subject of assaults this season. It is worrying. Very worrying. We don't want to go back to the segregated cages, pens of the 80s and the early 90s, which contributed to the Hillsborough disaster. We don't want to go back to that. And for those fan groups arguing for safe standing, this incident pushes that argument down, back, and harms that argument for safe standing, because the ease of access this idiot had to attack Jack Grealish is concerning. It's a matter of time before someone actually causes more than just a black eye to a player and actually seriously injures or kills them, because that so easily could have been a knife in his hand. That could so easily be a broken bottle. And this is a worrying state of affairs. We've seen incidents last season at West Ham, at Everton. We saw incidents at Millwall, Everton in the FA Cup this season. We've seen a lot of incidents in Scotland. Really worrying. And then we've seen a whole host of problems abroad with missiles being thrown and threats against players and officials. We've got to have a Europe-wide discussion on this. This is not just a British problem. This is a Europe problem. We've got to have, work out why it's still an issue in 2019. It's 2019. This is not 1989. It's 2019. It's been 30 years since Hillsborough, and we've learnt nothing. There is still a minority of morons out there. Bearing in mind, we are the only species to defeat natural selection because we look after our idiots, and a lot of them appear to be at football matches this season. Why is it that football as a sport has the worst behaved fans in general over other sports? I know there are some toxic fan bases in some other sports and some toxic fans in other sports, be it online or actually in arenas and stadiums. But why is it football continues to lead the way with fan disorder and misbehaviour? It's a question. There's got to be an answer to it, surely. Is it social problems? Is it just generally the hatred for the other team? Is it just generally alcohol? Is alcohol at games a problem? Is drugs as well a problem? Is it the gang mentality that we clearly have not defeated in the modern society? What is it? It's an interesting question. I'm going to leave that there for people to comment on, because I know I've got a lot of fans of the channel and subscribers to the channel who are football fans, first and foremost. And when's this going to stop? Like, seriously. When's it going to stop? I mean, my own cousin has been done for football violence, and, he brought shame to our family. He got banned for 18 months. When is this going to stop? Because it doesn't matter what background you're from. You can be from a working class background or a middle class background. A hooligan is still a hooligan. When is it going to stop? Why are other sports fans so much better behaved than football fans? But there we go. I'm going to leave that there. It's a really hot topic at the moment. I understand the rivalry between Birmingham and Aston Villa. I really do. I understand there's a heated rivalry there. There's some racial elements there as well with the fan bases. There's some very nasty, far right leanings for some, far left leaning for others as well. I know there is an undercurrent in this derby, but when is this going to stop? And when are people going to wake up and realise, that the more this happens, the more that gives credence to the government to bring in harsher public order measures and stricter crowd controls. And it's a balance. There's got to be a balance. But there we go. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.